Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. Today, today's brown bag is going to be pretty informal. We've had a couple of these before the last couple of years. And I'll put a link in the chat in a little bit to those recordings. Those were a little more structured, a little more formal, so that you'll be able to hear more about tips, checklists, strategies, activities, that kind of stuff. But what I wanted to do today is we're not going to have a scheduled speaker, but instead I'm just going to ask people who've attended the Esri Users Conference in the past just to share what they think are important tips or fond memories or jack sightings, or if they're going again, what they're most looking forward to or most excited about. So first of all, can you raise your hand if you've been to the UC in the past? Okay, I see a few hands. So just be aware, I'll probably call on you folks. And just a quick ground rule. I'll ask you if you're going to speak to raise your hand and wait to be recognized before speaking. But I encourage you, please do join the conversation either with to share your experiences or to ask questions. That's what we're here for. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll start things off. I don't have any real groundbreaking things or exciting things, but just a couple things. And I haven't been in a few years, so these are my memories of a long time ago. But I do remember prior to probably a week to, or not a week, probably a month to a few weeks before the UC, going to the Esri site and going through the detailed agenda. For those of you that have done that, you know there are already hundreds of sessions on there, or many dozens of sessions on there. So it was very helpful for me to go through those and tag the ones that I wanted to attend. And those got added to my list, I guess, on Esri site of my sessions, so that later when I downloaded the mobile app on my phone, those sessions were kind of saved there, and I could just kind of easily refer to that during the UC to see where I was going to go next. And then there were also maps that I could see where those things were going to take place. That was very helpful for me. Something else that was helpful for me was that I had to fly in early because I was attending an earlier session before the UC, and I got there before check-in. And so you've probably done this too. I was able to go to the hotel and have them hold my bags before my room was ready. So even before check-in, they were able to hold it from the morning. And similarly, at the end of the UC, after I checked out, the hotel could hold my bags for me until I was ready to head to the airport. Or at the convention center itself, I think Esri has an area where you can store your bags if you're going to head out right after the conference. So again, just a couple of helpful things for me personally. With that, I'm going to turn it over to you folks. If you wanted to share your helpful tips or your experiences or your favorite things, I'm going to call on you, Lisa, because I know you got to leave early. Anything to share?
Sorry. Yeah.
Can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
You're not muted, but I don't hear you.
Let me change it to. I'll come back.
Okay, while she's working on that. Okay, Scott, I see you there. I know you've gone before. Do you have anything, any particular experiences you want to share?
Nothing right now that I can think of. I agree with you though that usually because of the way our flights are structured, um, we get in before uh, the hotel room is ready. So yeah, ask them to hold your bags. And on the way out, sometimes you have to take your stuff to the convention center.
And they do have that holding area for bags, so
Yeah.
that's very convenient. You don't have to lug things around with you all the time. Lisa, got your sound working?
Let's find out. Can you hear me? No.
I can sort of hear you.
Here, let me try taking out the. Wait,
Yeah,
can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, good. Okay. Sorry. I just got my computer fixed, but apparently not really. Okay, so you had mentioned the detailed agenda. I would recommend that people get the app on your phone and then filter in multiple different ways to help you find things because there's thousands of sessions and it's just overwhelming. One of the things I've found really helpful is, well, there's a couple of tips. So if you go right at the beginning on Monday morning, there might be a line that's kind of long to get your registration figured out, but you can go into some of the hotels like the Hilton Bayfront and do your registration to get your badge. You can do that outside of the convention center, which is helpful. Um, I always bring like two pairs of shoes and I switch two pairs of comfortable shoes, like tennis shoes, and I switch between them so I can, because you end up walking maybe like 5 to 7 miles a day if you're really running around trying to do a lot of different things. So that was one of the things that helped me. And what else? Oh, when you go to the special interest groups, I told Arthur I was going to say this. When you go to the special interest group meetings at lunch, you can get, they will feed you. So just know that, and you don't have to be a member or anything. Anything that you're interested in, you can go to. Oh, and spend as much time as you can down on the floor in what is that called, Arthur? The area where all the Esri experts are.
I don't know the official name. It's the exhibition hall though. It's the
The
main.
exhibition hall, yeah. If you have any questions, they're there, and all the experts from all the different branches of Esri are there, and they can help you figure out and get solutions for challenges you're having. And I was able to get some answers it was really helpful for me to go talk to them. So
Yeah, and that's sort of organized by topic area too. So there'll be areas for whatever particular product group. So you can seek out people there, or you can also schedule. So something that we can help you with, the GIS program, is if you want to meet with some Esri folks. It's a little bit late because it's almost June, but let us know and we can work with our Esri account managers to see if we can schedule a meeting with an Esri product team or Esri people that might be able to help you with your particular issue. But it's a great place, as Lisa said, it's a great place to get questions answered and to help you along in your projects.
and one last thing, sometimes I'll select multiple sessions within a time block, and it might be so there's the convention center is very long, and sometimes you'll have one session that's at one end and one session, the next session's at the very far other end, and maybe after going back and forth 4 times or so in a day, you might just not want to do it for that next session. So you might want to just look on your list, and if you have other options at that same time that are a little closer, or sometimes I just drop in somewhere and learn something new that I didn't even expect to learn. So, yeah. And also down on the in the exhibition hall area, they have really interesting but usually small and packed demos of different products, which I found really interesting, but you should get there early because the seats run out. That was about all.
Anybody else want to share? I'm gonna, oh, Jim.
Thank you. Just real quick, most of this advice is really good. All I would add is there is also an opportunity to pick up your badges and stuff and go through an orientation the day before, or if you're coming in on the earlier stuff. So if you have the luxury of coming in early, do that. The other thing is if you don't have a lot of money, find out where Ralph's is the first day and do your grocery shopping and forget about like buying stuff off a food truck. The thing about, yeah, the Lisa's point about, yeah, go to the SIGs and pick up a lunch, but you know, anything else, don't anticipate either, you know, bring a bag and bring a sandwich is all I guess I'm saying. The other thing I would add is, yeah, when I go through the agenda, when I go, and unfortunately I don't get to go this time, I add a few alternatives because again, it's like, yeah, you might be in a thing and think it was really, you know, it looks really important when you read the synopsis, but you might get there and find yourself, don't be shy, just get up and leave and go to the next one because people do it all the time. That's about all I could add.
And I'll just piggyback off that. The SIGs and the you know, even the sessions that you go to are great places to meet and talk to people that are maybe in the same field as you are or doing projects that are similar to you. Or you know, often especially some of the user presentations will be in areas that you're also working, so that might be good to a good place to talk to the speakers as well. But it's a great place just to be around like-minded people, I'll say, doing GIS. Anybody else? Oh, yeah, good point, Lisa. So Lisa in the chat mentioned that HIGICC, the Hawaii Geographic Information Coordinating Council, puts together a Hawaii, state of Hawaii, or a Hawaii get together at usually a restaurant or bar off-site, usually the first or second day. I think they'll probably send out an email. If not, I'll find out, or you can go to HIGICC site, higicc.org. They'll probably post there where and when that event is going to take place. But there are surprisingly a lot of people from Hawaii that go, from the counties and from the state and from private sector as well. Scott, what you got?
I'll just try and add on to what some of you guys have talked about. For those of you who are going for the first time, the conference can be kind of overwhelming. It's an overload of information, especially in the exhibit hall area. There's more vendors and Esri demo stuff that you can spend a lot of time there over multiple days. One of the places in the exhibit hall usually is an area where you can actually sit down, get on a computer, and demo some of the applications. So I think that's also, if you've got an interest in finding out maybe about Experience Builder or some other of the newer products, you can actually sign up for time, get on a computer terminal, and play around with the product. So it's worth thinking about that.
Xichao, you got your hand up?
Yes, I just have 2 points. Because last year I joined this conference, really, really amazing. But when 2 points, one is the air flight. If that flight, the takeout your luggage take a really long time. Last time we spent about 1.5 hours for waiting to get a luggage. Okay, that's maybe unusual. The other things, some session is outside the convention center. Inside the hotel, first time in the morning, I cannot find this kind of area. That's I get struggle at that time, but after that is okay. But just let you guys know if the first time a little challenge to find this kind of outside the convention center area for session. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, there are some, or I don't think I'm confusing conferences, but there are some sessions that are not in the convention center. Is that right, or am I thinking of
Yes, just next to the convention center, but I get a wrong
in
direction.
the
That's why
hotel?
I
Yeah.
almost missed the 10 minutes after session start. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's good to I try and get the Bayfront, or where else do they have? I'm not sure if they have sessions at the Omni or at Hard Rock, but the Bayfront, sometimes they'll have sessions in those ballrooms, those meeting rooms. So it's very convenient. Yeah, at this point it's way too late about getting a hotel. But for those that are planning to go next year or thinking about going next year, as soon as you see the registration come out for the UC, and I can't speak for the county folks, but for the state folks, I would say go ahead and get a registration in, even if you don't have approval to travel. It's important to get a registration, sort of your foot in the door, number one, for our limited number of passes, but also that will then allow you to go look for a hotel, because the hotel rooms go quickly. So once you have a registration, you can go to the conference hotel reservation site and look for a room. The best places to get, of course, are the ones that are near the convention center, within walking distance. Okay, anybody else? Okay, I'm going to start calling on people. Dwight, are you still on?
Yep, I'm still on. I'm still here. Well, it's been a while from myself, but since I'm going this year, I wanted to check in and see how things have changed, if they had. But it sounds like similar to the previous years. So yeah, I have nothing much to add to that. Um, just enjoy yourself. Don't stress out if you miss one workshop, because they've got duplicate ones later on in the week, so you can probably sit in on those. That's
And
all.
many of these are, I should say, many of the Esri-led ones will be recorded. So if you have registered either to go live, or even if you register for, what do they call it, digital access, you'll have access to those recordings. That's something I should mention, is that I don't know if anybody on the call here is not going to go in person, but you can register for digital access. It says, I think, $99 for that, but that again, with our enterprise agreement, there's no charge for that. And that does give you access to some of the live streamed sessions, again, usually by Esri folks, and to the recorded sessions later. Hey, Jim, you got your hand up again?
Yeah, Dwight just reminded me, if you've been away for a while, the thing that does come out or strikes me as it's bigger. So just to give you an example, if you get there like the first part of the plenary, you may find yourself in a breakout room. and you may have to sneak down there later. So I was a little disappointed because I like the plenary is the best part. It's like, 16,000 of your best friends in the same room. So, if you can, and it depends on your flights and stuff, if you can get there early enough to make sure you get a seat at the plenary when it opens up, that would probably be a good idea.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's super packed. Lisa.
Yeah, I was going to mention that the plenary is very inspiring and exciting and fun, and you should try to go get there early. I agree with that. And yeah, that's definitely been my favorite. That's my favorite part. It's very exciting. So, and it's not fun if you get there and they say, sorry, it's full. That was a new thing, it seemed like last year. That they just say you're gonna have to sit in this other room and watch it on video. But yeah, I agree with Tim.
And yeah, just to be clear, sorry, I didn't raise my hand, but this was the first year I've ever heard of that. So it's, they're victims of their own success in some regards. But I do like the plenary, but I'd also, if people can, I think people make a mistake on Friday. If you can sit in on the very last thing that Jack does in the morning on Friday morning, there's a very short period of time where people actually can ask him questions, and it's like, that to me is my favorite part. So if you get a chance, please consider going to that as well. Because it kind of gives, you're going to spend 5 days drinking the Kool-Aid, but finally at the end, if you have someone's going to stand up and ask them an embarrassing question, and it's worth the price of admission.
Hey, Lisa, what you got?
I'm just wondering how many people are it's gonna be their first time going from with this group. Is it anybody? Just one? So maybe, or maybe not. Maybe no one.
I don't think just
Wow.
Joe.
What was I gonna say? Oh, if you want to buy something from their little shop, it's good to buy it early in the week because they sell out of the good stuff pretty fast. Okay, that was my last.
So it's come up a couple of times, favorite things. So what was your favorite thing? For those of you who've gone before, what was your fondest memory or your favorite thing to do? So Lisa mentioned Balboa Park. That was the big party. I think Thursday, the day before the last day, Thursday night. I think I heard that it's not going to be at Balboa this year, or is it next year? It's going to be at Petco. I haven't looked on the site, so I don't know if can't confirm that, but has anybody else heard that? Okay, so for tips at Balboa, even if it's not going to be about at Balboa, it's probably going to be similar in Petco. Any tips for people going to the big party? Well, my tip is get in line, get in the food line as soon as you can, or food lines. So at Balboa, they have it's a party, so there's entertainment throughout Balboa Park, and each facility has something going on, and often they'll have sort of themed foods going on at different venues, different places. If you see a line, you probably want to stand in it or find out what food they're having there and stand in the longest line you see there. Fred. Yeah. Bring your appetite. Any other tips? Lisa's got some. There's several museums there, I think. I've been in one that had a big train
Yeah, so I would,
thing.
so remind folks, Balboa Park is probably about a 15-minute walk.
Mm.
It's a nice walk, but it's about a 15-minute walk, depending on how slow you walk, to get there from the gas lamp area. So just prepare for that.
They have
Also, it's going to be pretty warm during the days outside, and it'll last pretty long into the evening, but by the time that thing is over, it's, to me, it's cold. So dress appropriately.
it's a good point.
And I think as you were saying, it is worth going up and checking out Balboa Park even before, go early, because some of those museums and buildings that you can go into are pretty incredible.
Fred mentioned the bus. Yeah, they have buses in the past. They've had buses, chartered buses to Balboa Park from the convention center. So if that's an easier way to get there, but it's also pretty crowded on those buses. Those buses fill up pretty quickly. There are a lot of them, so it's not. I don't think it's a real issue to hop on a bus. But yeah, wherever the party is, I would say go. It's a pretty interesting experience, and you'll see pretty much everybody there and their families as well. So it's a very family friendly activity. Anything else? Anybody else want to share tips? How about any interesting jack sightings? So for those of you probably all know, Jack Dangermond is the president and founder of Esri. He's been around for, decades, so he's getting up there. But he's very active, very social, and especially at Balboa Park, you'll see him pop up in kind of the oddest places, but also at the convention center. I've seen him in the map gallery. I've seen him at Balboa Park. Very approachable, very friendly. A decompression room, Fred asks. I don't know. That's a good question. Is there like a quiet place to get away to besides your hotel room? Or for those who have been before, is there a place that you can escape to?
There has been in the past. There was one area that had beanbag chairs and low lighting, and can't
Well,
remember.
something
I
to
think it
look
was on
for.
one of the upper floors.
And Joanne asks,
it was called the Geo Lounge. And I don't remember it being there last year, but you can find a quiet place. You just got to be creative.
maybe you can search their app. So Joanne asked a couple questions. How do you select multiple backup sessions on the online schedule? Oh, it won't let you double up. Interesting. Does the schedule generate a map? My experience with the schedulers, I have not seen a map. Which would
Esri
make sense.
doesn't create a map for us. That is funny.
Yeah, maybe they need an AI app to do that, to plan out your UC experience. It's a good idea. Anybody know? I mean, I'm probably the worst person to ask about technology.
I'm just wondering for the last session, you're saying to go to Jack's session, but I didn't know how far away his session is from the prior sessions.
I think his session is at the
In Hall F,
the
but I don't know where
pump-
Hall F is in
Ah.
relationship to all the different rooms that are listed. Thanks.
F is toward the see, I don't have a Mackay or I think it's toward the east end of the convention center. Hall H, I think, is at the end, so it's to the east side of the middle, I think. I think that's east. But not at the end. It's probably not very helpful. And it's on the ground floor. I think all the halls are on the ground floor. Ballrooms, I think, are on the upper floor. See, Chow.
Yes, I just try to remind because last time I'm outside the hotel area, I book hotel by myself, a little far away from convention center. But I would say downtown area, sometimes some homeless around the area, so it's kind of safe, but psychologically maybe have to be pay attention sometimes, especially nighttime. Yes, that's what I'm suggesting. Yeah.
That's a good idea. I have, and I've experienced the same thing. It is a concern, but so far I haven't heard of any incidents. I don't know if there have been any, but I haven't heard of any. Yeah, the worst was one year where I had to switch hotels, I think twice during the conference, and they were way far away. They were like quite a walk. It was probably a 15-minute walk to the convention center from where I was, and I had to switch hotels, which meant lugging my bags. Probably should have Ubered it or something, but I'm cheap. So yeah, hopefully you've got a hotel for the whole time and you can unpack and not worry about that. And hopefully you're close by so that if there is not a GIS lounge or a geo lounge, that you can take respite in your hotel room. It's a pretty nice area and the weather is beautiful there. So I hope there's good weather this year. Anybody else have anything to share? Okay, if not, we can wrap this up early. I did put links to the prior recordings. Again, those are a little more formal. No, I'll put those again. They're a little more formal. They'll have, I think people talk about checklists to prepare, things to bring, things not to bring, that kind of stuff. Charger. I don't know if Lisa mentioned a charger, but it's important to bring a charger. There are outlets at the convention center, but there are not a whole lot. So you might want to map those out and keep that in mind. But I would say definitely bring a charger or two. Scott, you mentioned it's warm outside, but I think some of the rooms can get a little chilly. So you might want to bring a sweater or a shirt or something over your short sleeves. Okay, if nothing else, then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I want to say that our next event is going to be a users group meeting for the state users. That's going to be on Friday, June 27th, I think it is. It's usually hybrid. This year it might be virtual. We'll have some updates from our program, from Esri, as well as a couple of presentations, one about the recent LiDAR collections and one from Historic Preservation about their Hawaii Cultural Resource Information System, HICRIS. So that should be interesting for those of you that have an interest in that. Okay, so if nothing else, I'll give you back half an hour of your Friday, and you all have a good weekend. I'm going to post a recording of this up on our YouTube channel, which I've put in the chat you can go to, but I'll also send out an email to the same group that I sent this invitation to. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining, and good. Have fun for those of you that are going to the UC.
Thank you.